mace in your face. No one's gonna be happy if they have mace in your face. Wait, what?
Yeah, okay.
Hey guys, it's Cait.
And Z.
And other adventures.
And this is everything we learned while living out of a van.
Zenos and I are a Singaporean-American couple based in Singapore. We flew to the US in style and road tripped through the USA, hitting spots on my bucket list.
While I played tourist in my own country, we visited about 25 states, got engaged in the Redwood Forest, ate a ton of food, and we did all of this while living out of a van.
It has changed our lives so profoundly that we want you to try it. So, if you're thinking about trying van life for the first time and want to know what to expect, keep watching. If you've been following our journey, we really hope that you've enjoyed living out of a Cabana van with us for 81 days.
And if you haven't, maybe it's time to catch up on all 24 episodes that are out on our channel.
Remember to give them a thumbs up and let us know in the comments section what you enjoyed watching, because we are so new to YouTube.
In this video, we're going to condense everything we've learned during these 81 days of van life. And if you're considering to travel to the US, this will give you everything you need to know so you can go into this experience with eyes wide open.
And because we love this experience so much, we really wanted to make it even easier for you to consider doing it. So hit that subscribe button, because in the next episode, we'll be giving you a play-by-play by helping you plan the most epic West Coast van life road trip so that even beginners like we were can experience this truly unique adventure.
So first, we're going to share the ins and outs of living in a van.
Okay, now because we chose to live in a Cabana van for our 81-day road trip, this video will obviously be skewed towards our experience in this beautiful capsule hotel on wheels, as I like to call it. But we also think that it's the best vehicle to rent if you're looking for a short but amazing van life experience as a tourist visiting the USA. Maybe Z can give us a little bit of background on Cabana vans.
Cabana vans started during the pandemic to encourage Americans to travel within their own country while inter-country travel bans were still in place. Their founder, Scott, used to work at an e-scooter sharing platform, and when he left, he started Cabana Van in Seattle, which is pretty much also within the sharing ecosystem.
While there are other vans that we could have picked, we chose Cabana vans for the simple design and toilet. 100%, I'm not going to live in a place with a questionable toilet design. Instead of explaining, let's just show you what we mean. Flashback! It's time for the Cabana van tour! Come on in! This is a double bed and it comes with bed sheets. So this toilet is amazing because it is just like a regular toilet that you'd see in your home or in a hotel. It even flushes like a regular toilet. Now we've come to my favorite part of this sink, which is the coffee cabinet.
You have a full seat that faces into the van, so now I can enjoy dinner with the one I love.
Oh, beautiful! Damn nice, right? And did we mention that this was really my choice? I'm not really making a blanket statement on all Singaporeans, but as a super city person, we like our creature comforts, okay? Like, Singapore is known for its cleanliness, so if I have to clean my own excrement, it better be not gross. You know what I mean? So choosing the vehicle was a really great choice. Good job, Cait.
Hey, I had a part in this. Speaking of cleaning out your own excrement, let's move on to talking about the tanks. Cabana Van has 3 tanks. First is the freshwater tank. That's the water that you shower with and also you get into your sink for washing your hands. The gray water tank is where the shower drains into and where the sink drains into. And then you have the black water tank. That's the gross one.
Yeah, but honestly, that was the one I found so difficult to dump at the beginning. Is this the black water? Oh, that's where they store the yuck. But I really wanted to pull my weight, you know? Like, I mean, it would be so unfair of me to let you dump the black water tank throughout 81 days, because, you know, we kind of had to do it at an average of once every 5 days. Give or take, depending on the weather conditions. So our tanks are completely frozen. When we brush our teeth in the sink, the water won't go down. When we go to the bathroom, we cannot flush. This was how we did it when we could. So usually, we will dump the black water first and then we'll dump the gray water. The gray water is basically bathing water, so it's got a little bit of soap inside, which we always hope is gonna clean out the tube after we dump the black water tank.
So as you can see, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, not at all in fact. After the first time I did it, I really think it wasn't as bad as I thought it might have been at the beginning. Like, you don't get the little bits on your hands after you're done or anything. That was what I was worried about.
Okay, moving on. Another question we get asked a lot is laundry. How do we do our laundry? And the best place is truck stops. This isn't something we think a lot about in Singapore because it's not a common thing here. But in the States, there are these truck stops for truckers that truck goods across the USA. They basically drive the interstate for days and stop to park at these locations during the night. And that's where they can sleep.
At a truck stop, you will actually find all the amenities like convenience store, bathroom, some even have gyms, showers, motels next door, and most of them have laundry machines where you can pay by tapping or even like with coins. So that's how we did our laundry.
You can also do laundry at RV parks. This is where people park their RVs semi-permanently instead of owning a typical home.
Yeah.
It's basically van life, but on a larger scale. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
For us personally, a lot of the time we really did our laundry when we met friends and family. They were all really kind to let us use their laundry machines. Thanks, fam!
So much. If you're on a road trip like we were, you won't typically end up cooking food out of your van. But many vans have full kitchens where you can create culinary masterpieces. We just realized that we're on a holiday and we wanted to try local specialties anywhere that we were.
Hi! Good, how are you? Are these your avocados? Wow. But I have to say, I would have loved to go around trying the local produce and making dishes out of them, which we still haven't done, especially in Seattle where the lobster was so massive. That's the next thing on my bucket list, to cook a giant American lobster. Okay, let's move on to the driving part, and for that, over to you, Z.
The van we chose is a manageable size. It's only 19.8 feet long, so it's only as long as a large station wagon or a big truck.
Yeah.
And that makes it pretty easy to maneuver.
Correct.
Like you know, huh?
Yes, I was in it, remember?
So the only thing we had to really be aware of is the height and how tall it is. Because the Cabana van is 10.8 feet tall, it can't go under some bridges, underpasses, parking garages, or the most annoying drive-throughs. Be sure to check your vehicle's size and height limit so that you know where you can go.
Yeah, I mean, the drive-thru was a really sad thing for us because sometimes we want to pick up some, Starbucks and we couldn't do that. But, there are actually signs everywhere. America's really good about that. And I guess it's because they have so many different sized vehicles that they have to take into consideration every single height.
It's tricky to find parking in the city in general because the Cabana van is too tall to fit in most parking garages. But before you write this off entirely, street parking is readily available and legal. The only parking that you really care about is where we park to sleep. And for that, we used a great app called iOverlander to locate places we could safely park overnight.
We also discovered that most Walmarts allowed overnight parking, but I would totally still check with iOverlander before settling in for the night. It's not dangerous or anything, you just want to be double sure you're not woken up in the middle of the night and being asked to leave the space. Honestly, this isn't really a huge problem for me, but it can be super annoying for the driver to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning just to drive somewhere else.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it only happened once, so we were pretty lucky.
So it was okay, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, on the highway, there's rest areas and truck stops, like we mentioned earlier. So while you're on the road, you can also search for these on Google. The other things you might need to prepare are making sure you have an international driver's license. If you're in Singapore, Google Automobile Association of Singapore and apply online at least 2 weeks before you travel. It only costs around $20 and it'll get mailed to you within a couple weeks. The other thing you need to check for is insurance. You can get this from Cabana Van if you don't already have your own policy or a credit card that has traveler's insurance.
Now we move on to the next segment of this video where we talk about the concerns you all had before and while we were traveling through the US.
Questions like, were you afraid of catching the C word, Asian hate, and anything else we learned while living out of a van that we think you should know.
The first question is, were you afraid of the anti-maskers? I think I was kind of afraid of anti-maskers, not because of anything else other than the fact that if they are so adamant about something, I feel like people that tend to be adamant about something and put their rights above yours can be quite frightening to be around.
Yeah, but from a practical standpoint, I don't think we were that worried because we're vaccinated.
Yeah.
We knew we would be okay. We were worried about being targeted a little bit, you know, because we were so used to wearing our masks in Singapore that it's going to be nothing to us. And yet there's some people that will be prejudiced against you for that.
Exactly. But I mean, we started in the West Coast and everybody was pretty adherent to the rules. Nobody was really disrespectful. If a shop said, please wear your mask, then people would just wear their mask in. The thing with America is, I think when you're outdoors, you don't have to wear a mask. Whereas in Singapore, even if you're outdoors, you need to wear a mask. I think it has something to do with population density and, everybody living with their older parents and grandparents. So I think it's, out of responsibility that we do that in Singapore, but it's not the case in America. Was there Asian hate? Especially in Texas. I can see why people think that there might be Asian hate in Texas, although I don't think all the videos that we see online of people receiving Asian hate and all the stories we hear from our friends who are Asian living in America are, indicative of the general American public. We personally didn't experience anything like that at all. But before you think that we're saying that this doesn't happen, no, we're saying it does, but we were just very fortunate not to have to go through it.
Are you afraid of sleeping in a van in public spaces?
No.
But I will say before I left, I was a little bit concerned about it. I wasn't sure what it would be like to sleep in a van on the side of a street, And so it was something that we had to get used to. But honestly, after the first night, completely fine.
After, you put up the blinds and everything, it just felt like a capsule hotel on wheels. We never got any disturbances, so it wasn't like, there's anything to worry about.
I think what people worry about is the van getting broken into by thieves or something like that. We were about to park at this parking lot, but then we noticed, broken window glass here and over there, which means in the last day probably someone has broken into cars here. That would certainly be traumatic, but you risk the same thing in your house.
In your car.
Yeah, so it's the same. We did buy one little can of mace just in case for self-defense.
I thought it was against bears.
Well,
It was for bears, what?
No,
it's bear mace.
Yeah.
I guess if you spray bear mace on a human, they would also die.
Yeah, no one's gonna be happy when you have mace in your face. Did you always check the tires before driving off? What was really nice about the van we drove is it had tire pressure monitors inside the cab itself. So as soon as I turned the van on, I would know if the tires were good.
How often do you shower? I showered once in 5 days. I try to push it to 7.
Yeah, how was that? Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Uncle Z did
it work for me? Debatable.
In America, it is so dry. In fact, I'm like, please give me some humidity. I can feel my collagen drying up as I speak. I mean, you really don't have to shower, wash your hair. You don't get oily very quickly. So get the wet tissues. You can buy from the Guardian equivalent, right? Which is CVS or, some pharmacy. And you just every morning you just wipe down. Every night you just wipe down.
The first couple nights we showered every night. Yeah. And then we realized
it's ridiculous. I feel so clean. Why are we still showering? This is the second day and I feel squeaky clean. So I guess we don't have to shower, right? So we didn't.
Well, how long can you drive in a day before you stop?
That's definitely a you question.
Typically, you only want to drive 2 hours at a time before you take a little rest.
What's it like to use toilet in van? On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Amazing.
Oh, I wasn't sure what I was going to say. I was thinking normal.
We don't have to say the same things,
Yeah.
We are different individual people. But it was amazing for me, when you're doing the big brown. I don't know how to say.
I have literally never heard of number 2 called the Big Brown. What the?
Okay, I'm so emotional because I had to leave my van behind. Okay, anyway. So when you're doing number 2 in the morning, so you half flash and then there's a lot of water and then as you do it, you full flash. So then it gets rid of the smell. It doesn't osmosize around the toilet and then enter your nostrils or anything. It just goes down with the vacuum and you're oh, fresh start. Continue.
And actually, I think we preferred using our van toilet more than we would prefer using like in
A public
restaurant.
toilet is disgusting. How much did we spend in total?
Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to say that.
What?
Okay, we're gonna do a whole episode on this.
Are you serious? Is it with the ring or not?
Maybe, maybe not. Can't reveal too much.
So, what have I learned? I've learned that the world is so diverse that there is a place for every type of person anywhere in the world. If you feel foreign in your own neighborhood, city, state, country, there are still plenty of options available around the world for you to choose from so that you can finally feel at home. I mean, even within the USA, state to state, the vibe is so different. Americans can simply pick a state that aligns with their belief system and move there as easily as driving there and getting set up. I mean, I don't understand why diversity is a problem, honestly. It literally means everyone can find a place and feel like they belong. And that is truly the beauty of the US and the beauty of travel.
If you could spend your money on anything, I hope you spend it on travel, because travel is the only thing that you buy that makes you richer.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
wise words, right?
Guys, I really hope that this video was useful to you. If you are a Singaporean especially, we highly recommend considering van life on your next trip to the USA because it is such a fantastically unique way to discover the United States. In the next episode, we help you plan a play-by-play Cabana van road trip from Seattle to LA. It changed our lives and idea of traveling so profoundly that we want to make it easy for you to try it out yourselves.
Before you go, remember to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell.
Ding ding!
You don't want to miss our next episode.
When it drops. Remember also to catch up on the episodes of 81 Days in the USA with me and Z and other adventures. Wow, hang on.
I love